Hey, I'm so excited to be tuning in with you today. If you are here for the very first time, hello and welcome. My name is Drisha Hawk. I'm a high ticket sales coach, and I teach coaches how to be great at sales specifically. But if you guys have been here rocking with me for a while, you guys will know there's a little bit of an enhancement, an elevated experience right now that's taking place with the camera recording. So a quick tangent before we get into today's topic. We're going to be talking all about the importance of why you need to be choosing your clients and who you work with when it comes to, your clients get to hire you, but you get to choose who you work with. And we're going to just be talking about the importance of that in your business. But before we dive into that, I want to do a quick tangent here and talk about why, I've done over 600 live stream videos since I started my business. And I've always been creating a very fun reward system where I do not get to buy fun new equipment until I've done the work. So this camera was about a $600 camera. And I told myself, once you do 600 live, basically for every live stream video you do, you earn $1 towards buying really fancy, fun equipment. And this has been earned. So you guys I'm going to be testing this out. Please pop in the comments. Does it look good? Can you hear me okay? This is my first time using this setup, so I'm just so excited. So just let me know in the comments. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Does it look good? Does it sound okay? Just to make sure this actually makes sense. So today's topic, talking about the importance of choosing your clients. And the idea for today's topic actually came up because I was interviewing one of my successful students, one of our high ticket sellers, our champagne closers, one of our clients inside of Services That Sell. I was interviewing her for an upcoming episode on my podcast, the Drisha Said podcast. And she was just talking about how she's been able to grow in her business, how her confidence has really been enhanced. And she brought up a really unique point about, she said who was she to be choosing what clients she worked with. We started working together about 3 months after she started her business. And as she started going through the process of narrowing her niche, really specializing her service, kind of this resistance or this doubt started to creep in of, she's now deciding who she works with and who she doesn't work with, being selective about who her services are for. And she just said that she noticed some resistance when that was coming up for her. And I figured, I wonder if anybody else has felt like that. Do you ever have resistance? You know that you need to niche down and narrow in on the promise you solve, the person that you're really supporting, but there may be some doubt or resistance of who am I to be selective about who I take money from? Or, I'm just focused on getting more clients and making more money. I can't be turning clients away. Have you ever thought or felt that before? And one thing that she pointed out was as she started to narrow in her niche, really implement the POP method that we teach inside of the Services That Sell. Pick one problem, package one process, pick one person. She noticed that while that resistance was coming up for her, she noticed how important it was for her to be selective about the clients that she was choosing to work with, right? And I wanted us to talk about that concept today. So if you've ever, like I said, struggled with that or whatever, this episode's really going to be for you. So when I think about, I want you guys to all be open to the idea or the perspective that your clients hire you, but you get to choose who you work with. And you get to make this, I think that's maybe a new thing that a lot of us are exercising in our business, this freedom of choice, right? We get to choose what service we sell. We get to choose what problem we solve. We get to choose what price point we are going to be charging our clients at. And sometimes we are in these corporate environments, we're kind of stressed out by the constraints that our typical 9-to-5 may give us. But we step into a business, we say we want freedom, but then sometimes we fear all this freedom that exists on the choices we get to make, and then in turn having to make decisions and be decisive and get selective about how we're going to package our offer, who we're going to serve. And as I was talking to Aaliyah, who is the podcast interview guest I was telling you about, the thing that came up to mind is think about marriage, right? I think how you date is very reflective of how you sell in your business. How you date is very reflective of how you sell in your business. Hear me out on this, okay? Think about dating. If you're the type of woman or man who just takes anybody that comes their way, you're on Tinder and anybody that shows interest, you're like, well, I guess I'm going to date them because they're giving me attention. That doesn't always lead to the best outcome, right? Like when it comes time to deciding who you're going to be married to, who you're going to make that lifelong commitment with, you start to get selective. And if you don't, you should be, okay? You need to start getting selective. When I got very intentional about dating, and right before I met my fiance, I had a scorecard, right? I had a legitimate scorecard on that was very descriptive of the type of partner that I wanted to, have a lifelong relationship with. And I was also very descriptive on who it was that I wanted to be in that relationship. So I got super specific and super detailed about who I wanted to date, who I did not want to date, what a good candidate was, what a bad candidate was. I was not out here trying to be the whole ride or die anymore. Boo boo, if you want me, I want you. I didn't want to just settle for what came my way. I wanted to be selective about who it was that I was going to be dating when I started thinking about marriage and long-term commitment. And when you're selling a premium service, and you are raising your rates and you are really packaging an offer that creates a legitimate transformation for somebody else, you need to get selective. Everybody that comes your way is not the best client for you to work with. And just because they have the money to pay you doesn't mean that they are clients that you should be enrolling, right? So I just want to introduce you to the idea that the more selective that you become, and the more specific you really hone in your service and hone in what problem and promise that you solve, the more committed clients you are going to attract to you, right? Isn't it that they always make the saying that when you see somebody with an engagement ring on or a wedding ring on, then everybody's interested. When I noticed when I started wearing my engagement ring, I'm just like, just people would just start coming up to you trying to holler at you. And I know for sure when a brother put it on his wedding band, women start flocking to him left and right. Cause it's like, oh, it's selective. It's not available to everybody. The perceived value has immediately increased. The same thing is true in your business. So if you are an individual who struggles with like niching down, being decisive about who you want to work with, who you don't want to work with, not trying to be everything to everybody. Like some of y'all are out here being straight floozies in your business. Like, oh, you want to pay me $40 for a logo? I'll take you. It's like, no, we are not doing that anymore, okay? Close the legs, elevate your presence, demand some respect, right? Like we want to make sure that we're being selective, especially if you want to start raising your rates. You can't be out here trying to sell a service that's catering to everybody. You're trying, this could work for them, this could work for them, I could do this, I could do that, and you try to keep it broad and vague because you don't want to repel a potential client or, make it seem as if your offer isn't for somebody. But the reality is you need to be doing the complete opposite. You need to get super specific. You need to be focusing on how are you creating content that is repelling away the type of clients that you don't want to work with. How are you packaging your offer and really defining how you qualify a potential client to the degree at which it is crystal clear to say that this person is for me and this person is not for me. And that is okay. Everybody's not for everybody. You in your business should not be trying to date anybody who can cover the bill, right? We want to start creating or packaging our offer and creating a perception around our brand where we are, it's exclusive. We serve a very targeted audience because we support them in achieving a very specific result. And you want to start thinking about your clients as who is the most committed to doing the work. Because we know as coaches, as a role as a coach, it's not your job to get the result for your client. It is your job to be a shepherd and to guide them on the journey of them doing the work themselves, right? But the only way for you to get your clients results is for them to show up and do the work. So we need to be selective about who it is that we're working with to make sure that we are enrolling clients who are just as committed to getting the results as we are committed to supporting them in getting there. So that was my little tea talk for the day. Hope this was helpful and beneficial. Okay. But I have a couple of minutes. If there's any questions that you guys have about this topic, I would love to dive deeper into it. Like I said, think about it. Your clients are hiring you, but you get to choose who you work with. And some more practical things to think about as you guys are typing in your questions is, how can you make that choice? You make that choice when you decide what problem you're solving. You make that choice when you decide what problem or promise am I not going to be responsible for solving in this offer. You know, I always tell my clients, your prospects have 99 problems. Your job is to solve one of them with your signature service, not to solve every problem that they have. So that's a way for you to get selective, is get very, very clear on what is the end result that you're promising. Another way that you can get selective is getting very, very clear on picking one person. Who is this offer most designed for? Who is the best candidate to get the results, right? Not trying to be everybody. Like, you know, I'm helping all women entrepreneurs. That's like half the population, guys. We want to get more specific about who this offer is for. You know, services that sell, my signature offer is specifically designed for coaches and service providers, right? So we're narrowing it on the business industry that want to sell a high ticket offer. So that's a very specific business model, and who want to do that with one-on-one clients or in a group, high ticket group clients. So it's even more specific within the niche of that business model, within that business sector, right? Not just saying I want to help any business owner who wants to grow their business and make more money. No, we want to work with coaches and service providers, one qualifier, who want to sell high ticket services, second qualifier, either in a one-on-one or a leverage group container, third qualifier. So we want to get very, very specific about who it is that we're supporting. And then from there, you can start looking at some intangibles, right? Is this person committed? Do they have the mindset that's necessary to do the process that is outlined within your curriculum and in your program? Does it feel like a good fit? Like, do you actually want to work with them? Like, is it going to be enjoyable for you to work with them? And these are things that you need to be thinking about on the sales call and when you're creating your marketing content, so you can be repelling people who are non-ideal clients away from you, attracting the most qualified clients your way. And then when you're on that sales conversation, it's really just about a dialogue between whether or not this is going to be a good fit. Hope that was helpful. So I see a question that just came in. Thank you guys so much for the positive feedback on the camera setup. I feel so fancy. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I need to have more like makeup on. I don't. I literally have on my fiance's sweater, some sweatpants, and a wig that I have not brushed in a day and a half. I'm keeping it 100% real. But I do see a question that came in from, I think is it Maisel? She said, I've had some women get super defensive, upset, discouraged when it's clear that we're not the right fit and decide not to move forward. How do you go about dealing with that? Specifically not feeling bad for having high standards. You know, this has happened to me before too, because every client that wants to enroll in our programs, we don't accept everybody in. Sometimes we have accepted people in and realized they weren't a good fit and refunded them their money and told them that they need to leave our program. And it's not always the best thing, but it's just like in dating. You know, when you start dating somebody, you're like feeling them out in the beginning, and it's like, you know what? I don't think this is going to be a good fit. But kind of a more specific, Maciel, thank you for correcting me. But I would say, think about it like this. So if I was actually on the sales conversation and I realized, 5, 10, 20 minutes into the conversation that it's not a good fit, I always go into the mindset of my sales conversations, not with the goal of me getting the yes and collecting payment, but the thing that I think about when I go into sales conversations is I want to help this person make the next best decision for them. And when I focus my energy and my attention on that being my success metric, did I help them make a decision on what the best next step was for them? That shifts my entire energy when I get into a sales conversation and potentially meet a prospect who is not a good fit. So let's say they're not a good fit, but I'm approaching the sales conversation from that mindset, and I also communicate that expectation to them at the beginning of the sales call, saying, hey, Maciel, thank you so much for booking a next step call with me today. My number one objective for us today is to decide what your next best step needs to be. Are you cool with that? You're going to say, yes, of course. So once you start going through a sales conversation, you realize they're not a good fit, I would just say something along the lines of like, hey, remember at the beginning of this call, I told you that I wanted to make sure that we figured out what the next best step for you is going to be. You can be like, yeah, I remember you saying that. Then they'll be like, well, you can just kind of reflect back to them saying, based off of where your goals and objectives are, I realized that that's not aligned with the program promise that we deliver, and I'm not going to be the best person that's going to help you accomplish that goal. Here's a referral that might be a better fit for you based off of what your goals and objectives are. So it's always from a place of service. It's not like a, nah, girl, your edges ain't laid enough, I don't want to work with you. Like, when you approach it from a heart posture of service and just being able to help them as best you can to help them achieve the result that they want, it completely changes the dynamic of the conversation. So that was a great question, and I hope that was helpful. Let me see. So I see a question from Jason Hall. Hey, y'all got my phone out. I just feel so fancy. Oh, this is like this is a legendary thing, okay? Oh, hey, babe, I see you're watching. Let me know, did I do good setting up the camera? Y'all, I'm talking to my fiance. I see he's watching me live right now. Hey, boo. This question is from Jason Hall. What if you are just starting coaching and I know you believe, What if you are just starting coaching and I know and believe I can help, but I haven't done it yet? Should I do it for free and learn, or just charge it high ticket? So Jason, this is a really good question. I actually I have Instagram, IGTV that's specific about why you shouldn't be offering your services for free if you're just starting out. So I would recommend, it's like an 8-minute video over on my IGTV at Jerisha Hawk. I recommend watching that video too. But I want to address the first part of your question. What if you're just starting coaching and I know and believe I can help, but I haven't done it yet? My question to you would be, is this your first time helping somebody get this result, or is this just the first time that you're trying to charge somebody to help them get the result? That's a huge difference. A lot of the time, we already bring skills to the table. We've acquired these skills. We've already gotten these results, maybe for ourselves, maybe in a corporate work environment. We've done this or helped somebody for free because it was just a natural gift and people always came to us for it. If you know that you've gotten the results somewhere else, you're not new. You're just new to offering it this way. You might be new to selling it as a coaching service, but you're not new to helping somebody get the result. So when you really shift your perspective around that and saying, stop saying that you're new. You're introducing it in a new way. You're packaging it differently than maybe how you have before. You're actually putting a price tag on it. Or if you've done this in your 9-to-5 job before, you've already been paid for this as a service in the form of a paycheck. Now you're just, getting it in form of an invoice or in the form of a Stripe payment now. So I would ask the question behind the question there, just dig in a little bit deeper there to ask, is this actually your first time helping somebody get this result? Or is this just your first time packaging it as a coaching offer and charging for it, right? Because those are two different things. So I think that's something to think about when coming into that. And the thing with selling high ticket, I am not the coach that's just going to say everybody should be selling high ticket, throw an extra zero on your price tag, because that's a young money, cash money, no. The way that because raising your rates is really simple. All you have to do is change your price. But enrolling clients at your new rate, now that takes a different approach. If you want to enroll clients at your elevated price point, you have to learn how to articulate the value of what you do in a way that aligns with what the price point that's reflected for your service. And you have to be able to communicate it to your prospect in a way that they understand, right? Just because you know you're dope is different than you being able to articulate the value of that in a way where somebody else gets that you're dope and also is able to connect the dots that you're the person that can help them solve their problem. So it's not I just invite you to shift your perspective or think about that a little bit differently, okay? So Jason, let me know if that was helpful for you, but that would be my response to that question. So he said this is the first time actually getting the specific result. So my thing would be, what is making you decide to offer this as a service? Like, is it just an idea that you think it might work, or is this like have you gone to school for it? Like, what's making you choose to go do this? Like, there's something in you, if you believe that you can help somebody get the result, there must be some level of confidence because of something you've done, education you've acquired, skill sets that you've been honing in. There's something that you must have done that leads you to believe and to have this inner confidence to know that you can help them get the result. Even though you say you've never done it, this is your first time helping get this specific result. So let me know what you mean there. because I really am just curious about like what gives you the confidence to believe that you know that you can help somebody get this result if you have never gotten the result before. Like I said, have you done it in a job? Have you done it for yourself? Have you helped somebody for free already, maybe a friend or a family member? Where is the case there? So yeah, that will also help inform the follow-up there. So I'm not seeing any other questions, but gal, I think we had a successful first run at my new camera setup. I see a few of you guys asking what camera I have. This is the Canon M50. I'm going to do another video on my entire setup because I bought so many gadgets. I have been watching so many YouTube videos. I'm going to tell you now, though, I am not a tech expert. So some people were asking me, what does this thing do? Listen, I don't really know. I know the elementary explanation of why this stuff works the way that it works. I've been watching tons of YouTube videos because, to figure out what to get for my live stream setup. So yeah, I will be doing another video probably on my Instagram stories, like breaking down the behind the scenes of like all my new equipment. So I do have another call I got to go hop on, guys, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really hope this episode was insightful for you when you think about, okay, I know that my clients hire me, but it's also your responsibility to be selective and only enroll clients. You get to choose what clients you work with, and I want to just empower you in that thought process today as you are embarking on raising your rates and enrolling more high-ticket clients. So I'll holla at y'all later. I'm so glad you guys are liking the new camera setup. I cannot wait to record more live streams with this, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all. Oh, crap. I got to figure out how to turn this off now.